I wanted to try face casting for some time now, but I was a little concerned about how it would affect my sensitive skin. I decided to go ahead with it, but to be extra cautious, I used a generous amount of cocoa butter to cover my skin. I used my forearm as a test subject and waited a couple of days for any adverse reactions. This test was also made to determine the necessary drying time. I gathered everything I would possibly need at the work area, just to make sure I didn't get caught with my pants down in the middle of the procedure. I pre-cut my plaster gauze into different shapes and sizes, got ready with my cocoa butter. Of course, I had a handy spray bottle, my tape to lock down some of the cellophane wrap that covers my hair, and some more gauze just in case I ran out the original stuff, and scissors to cut it, as well as some rubber gloves to keep my hands nice and clean. I'll be using my spray bottle to activate the plastic gauze, but for expediency, I'm going to fill the sink with some hot water and have that ready to use. I put on a wig cap and covered that with cellophane wrap and used the tape around the edges to hold it in place. After thoroughly coating my face with a nice layer of cocoa butter, I got started with the plastering. I'm gonna cover the eyes as much as I possibly can without actually closing them up totally. I do have an idea on how I'm gonna proceed after that. Although the video is time-lapse, it really didn't take that long to get 3 layers of plaster wrap on my face. Since my mouth is thoroughly covered, I'd be very careful not to close up my nose holes. I also had to remember to not move my face around too much, and to keep the same expression. With the cast completed, I waited the 20 to 30 minutes for it to set up. The cocoa butter worked extremely well. I moved my face just a little and the mask slid off like butter. I guess I didn't get enough up close to the hairline, but this plaster came off pretty easy also. With the mask solid enough for me to work on without doing any damage, I decided to refine the eyes with some more bandage. I used several small strips of bandage to create the upper and lower eyelids, and I'll see if my idea for creating the eyes itself works out. Any of the areas that I thought were a little thin, I reinforced with some more bandage. My idea for the eyes was to use my nitrogen balls from my Guinness can, poke them in from the back end to protrude the eyes out in the front a bit. I glued them in, and then I put some gauze over the outside, and that would make the illusion that my eyes were open when I actually made this cast. After the finishing work with the eyes, I set the cast aside and allowed it to dry overnight. Now I just had to decide whether I wanted to use a casting resin, some deep pore epoxy, or some silicone for the final casting. I decided on the casting resin. I covered up the nose holes with some tape after plugging them with a little bit of foam clay. It's a 1-to-1 mix with part A and part B, and I computed that I needed all of it to come close to filling the mold. Each bottle contains 16 ounces, so it'll be a combined pour of 32 ounces. Both of the liquids have a very thick consistency, so I'll have to be very patient to make sure that all of it is poured out of the bottles. I thoroughly mixed the epoxy together, trying not to add any unnecessary bubbles. But this product don't seem to be susceptible to bubbles forming. The mold is propped up inside of a cardboard box as level as I can possibly get it, and epoxy is poured inside of it. As you can see, the 32 ounces didn't completely fill the mold. In less than 5 minutes, I started to see a reactional change in the liquid, but I decided to let it sit for the recommended 30 minutes. I was hoping for an easy removal of the cast and also hoping that I could reuse this particular mold, but at last, that was not meant to be. I had to destroy the mold to get the cast out, but I'll be making a new master out of silicone later. Took a little work getting the cast out of the plastic bandage, and I had to do a lot of cleanup with my Dremel rotary tool, but it turned out very well. The eyes bulged out a lot more than I expected, so to get them down to a normal size, I used my Dremel rotary tool and reshaped them. And that marks the end of this week's video. I will be making some more detailed changes to the face as I go along before I make some more final castings. I do realize that instead of the plastic cast, if I used alginate, I would have got a lot more of the finer details. But that's for the next project. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press that like button. And you all know the other way that you can support this channel.